under one voice, standing for truth.
Good day, Philippines! You're watching UST Central Point Express, delivering truth, relevance, and stories that matter. I am Benedict Espinoza.
And I am Angeline Luciano. Here's a quick look at the top stories making headlines across the nation today, December 2, 2025.
And for the headlines, we focus on the devastation caused by Typhoon Kalmegi.
Yes, Benedict. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. declared a state of calamity on November 6, aiming to accelerate rescue and relief operations.
The impact has been massive. Over 1.4 million people affected across Central Visayas, with more than 500,000 displaced from their homes.
Heartbreaking indeed. And sadly, the latest figures confirm 114 fatalities, while 127 remain missing. Rescue teams are reaching isolated areas despite the flood waters.
Authorities say relief operations are ongoing, bringing aid to the hardest hit areas. Authorities
Stay safe and follow local advisories.
We'll continue to bring live updates as Typhoon Uwan approaches, so make sure to stay tuned.
Init? Asa na ba si Zairi? Looking for this?
Major challenges: traffic congestion, waste management, water inefficiency, and limited citizen participation in governance.
And these challenges affect our daily lives.
Every day, countless commuters spend hours stuck in traffic. Time, fuel, and energy are wasted before they even reach their destination.
And trash stocks up quickly without proper attention. It leaves the community struggling to keep a clean environment.
Even tiny leaks waste huge amounts of water, and in the end, we pay for what we never even use. Many citizens are left confused about the issues around them, unsure of what's really happening or what they should care about.
What are you searching about? Oh, flood control. What are you searching about?
Sometimes we want to speak, but hesitation holds us back. And before we know it, we silence ourselves. Because of this, many citizens stay silent, leaving issues unreported and decisions made by only a few.
But what if things didn't have to stay this way?
Do you have a hard time commuting, or dealing with overflowing trash, unreliable water, or even feeling unheard by the city?
These challenges affect everyone in Metro Manila. But our smart city innovations make life easier, safer, and more sustainable. We now introduce to you Smart Connect.
Download the Smart Connect app from the App Store or Google Play. Open it and jump right in. If you already have an account, log in. But if you're new, it's sign up and choose sign up with email. Enter your details, fill out the required information and submit. After that, just wait for your verification email, which usually takes around 2 to 3 working days. You're officially ready to explore, connect, and experience everything Smart Connect has to offer.
Our smart traffic lights adjust in real time based on traffic conditions, helping commuters save time and reduce pollution.
Smart waste bins track disposal and encourage proper waste management. By scanning the QR code, users update the bin's status and earn digital tokens for responsible waste habits.
Smart water meters monitor usage in real time, helping households detect leaks early and avoid high bills. With instant updates in the app, users can manage their water consumption more efficiently. Feedback Bot makes it easier for citizens to speak up. By sending quick responses through the app, people help shape policies and ensure community needs are heard.
Through Smart Connect, traffic becomes manageable, waste is monitored, water is protected, and every citizen's voice is heard.
And when Smart Connect activates, this is the impact it creates.
A smart city isn't just built by systems, it's built by people who choose to care.
When we act with attention, we create the future that we all deserve.
Welcome back to UST Central Point Express. As the country braces for the continuing impact of Typhoon Wan, here's the latest update from the ground.
Super Typhoon Uwan, internationally known as Pungwang, struck the Philippines
The scale of the storm is enormous. Uwan forced over 1.8 million people to leave their homes and affected a staggering 7.6 million residents across 16 regions. While more than 1.5 million evacuees were moved to safety before landfall, around 300,000 Filipinos remain in evacuation centers. Many of the children are at risk of illness and malnutrition. The storm also left 270,000 homes damaged nationwide. The scale of the storm.
in the province of Catanduanes. The town of Pandan suffered catastrophic destruction, with thousands of families losing nearly everything. And because Uwan arrived just weeks after Typhoon Kalmegi, rescue and response teams were quickly overwhelmed, struggling to reach some of the hardest hit communities. In the province of Catanduanes, the town of Pandan suffered catastrophic destruction, with thousands of families losing nearly everything. And because Uwan arrived just weeks after Typhoon Kalmegi, rescue and response teams were quickly overwhelmed, struggling to reach some of the hardest hit communities. In the province of Catanduanes, the town of Pandan suffered catastrophic destruction, with thousands of families losing nearly everything. And because Uwan arrived just weeks after Typhoon Kalmegi, rescue and response teams were quickly overwhelmed, struggling to reach some of the hardest hit communities. In the province of Catanduanes.
Humanitarian support, however, has begun to pour in. The United States has pledged $2.5 million in aid for the victims. Relief efforts in Catanduanes are ongoing, and thanks to early evacuations in Albay, authorities reported fewer casualties in that province. Humanitarian support, however, has begun to pour in. The United States has pledged $2.5 million in aid for the victims. Relief efforts in Catanduanes are ongoing, and thanks to early evacuations in Albay, authorities reported fewer casualties in that province. Humanitarian support, however, has begun to pour in. The United States has pledged $2.5 million in aid for the victims. Relief efforts in Catanduanes are ongoing, and thanks to early evacuations in Albay, authorities reported fewer casualties in that province. Humanitarian support.
President Marcos has directed agencies to maintain round-the-clock disaster response, though many communities continue to face widespread power outbreaks. Meanwhile, Phoebos has issued warnings about possible hard flows near Mayon volcano, as heavy rains from Uwan continue to soften volcanic deposits. President Marcos has directed agencies to...
Still, despite the destruction, stories of hope and resilience continue to emerge. Neighbors rescuing each other from rising floods, families sharing food in overcrowded evacuation centers, and volunteers delivering aid to isolated areas. Even in the face of disaster, the Filipino spirit remains unbroken.
More updates as the situation develops. Stay with us.
As the nation rallies in the face of disaster, another story is unfolding, one that speaks to accountability and governance. From the storm's aftermath, we now turn to the halls of power.
According to President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., Philippine authorities take action in major anti-corruption effort in the Philippines. 7 suspects linked to a nationwide flood control corruption scheme have been detained.
And what's surprising here is how detailed the testimonies have become. Senate witnesses, including some DPWH officials, actually admitted arranging deals and receiving large sums. It's not every day you hear officials confess to this level of involvement.
Right? And what makes this even more alarming is the impact on people's safety. These were supposed to be flood control projects, some of them reportedly substandard or even non-existent. Considering how often we face deadly flooding, that's a huge betrayal of public trust.
That's right. Famous influencer Pipay went viral after sharing a...
Now with today's take on social journalism, a courageous young content creator from Cebu City known as Pipay is inspiring millions after bravely sharing her childhood bullying experience during an episode of the TV show Your Honor.
That's right. Famous influencer Pipay went viral after sharing a heartfelt video where she talked about being bullied back in school because of her congenital hand defects. Using her signature humor and her fictional character Joshua, she turned painful memories into a message of empowerment. That's right.
The video, filmed in her simple bedroom setup, carried captions like, "From Joshua drops to real talk, bullies can't dim my life." For many viewers, it was her honesty and resilience that struck a chord. The video.
Social media, despite its challenges, can amplify young voices and spark real change, especially in a connected nation like ours.
Absolutely! Pipay's courage shows that even the most painful experiences can become a source of strength, not just for herself, but for thousands of others who see themselves in her story.
A reminder that sometimes the bravest stories come from the youth who choose to speak up. Hold steady for more stories shaping our communities.
The dark shouldn't dim your safety. The dark shouldn't dim your safety. In these hoarding lighting situations, even a stool can feel like a weapon.
Pagka may bigyan sa akin.
Paano kaya masolusyonan ang ganyan na problema?
Electricity. As Mindanao relies heavily on hydropower for its energy requirements, making it prone to seasonal changes and climate disturbances like the El Nino phenomenon.
In many rural communities, nighttime brings more than silence. It brings uncertainty. With little to no lighting, roads become invisible. Pathways that are safe in daylight turn into hazards, and accidents rise. Communities feel isolated, and in moments of emergency, every second feels long. Every step feels farther, simply because there is no light available. For families, students, workers, and travelers, darkness becomes a daily danger. And for too long, this has been accepted as normal. But today, we believe rural communities deserve more than just daylight and safety. They deserve protection, connection, and opportunity even after the sun goes down. That's why we created our solar streetlight solution. A smart, sustainable system designed to bring light and so much more to underserved areas.
Energy business in Mindanao. Having been capacitated towards their community's development, the community associations are able to participate in the renewable energy supply chain in Mindanao and could assist in direct sale of renewable energy products. Mindanao looms in the horizon. Access to energy is a good first step towards fulfilling that promise. Join the alliance and help bring light and hope to the people of Mindanao.
Be the generation that brings light to communities, advocate for renewable energy, and support for sustainable solutions. Your voice can brighten the future. Use our hashtags, hashtag light up your night, hashtag sustainable shine.
Cells in this panel absorb sunlight and convert it into electricity. The panels are reliable and can last up to 25 years. Village Chief Benjamin Bainosa says they needed electric lamps. He says they were happy to have the solar-powered light because it can't be put out by strong winds, unlike the small kerosene lamps they had before. Tagan villagers say the solar panels changed their lives.
Because we're not just lighting up streets, we're also saving lives.
The dark shouldn't.
In a groundbreaking discovery deep within a remote nature reserve, scientists have brought a species back from the brink of myth. To shed more light on this remarkable find, let's hear from Siana.
Flora, last seen in 1895. The Exactum lohery. Researchers from UP Dalaman and the Philippine Normal University found the plant inside the Masungi Geo Reserve.
As nature surprises us once again, so do the people who live closest to it. For a story rooted in heart and humanity, we now turn to reporter Zyrene as we move on to the stories making waves beyond the world of science.
As nature continues to surprise us, so too does the world of pageantry. From new discoveries in the wild, we now turn to the stories making waves on the global stage. Miss Universe Philippines is steering the conversation back to what truly matters. This comes after tensions flared up between Miss Universe Thailand's national director and Mexico's representative, Fatima Bosch.
On November 6, MUPH posted across social media, urging fans and the pageant community to focus on the 74th Miss Universe candidates and celebrate their achievements. They emphasized that disparaging remarks or racial stereotyping have no place in the international pageant community, a reminder of the values these competitions stand for.
In response, Miss Universe Philippines issued a statement emphasizing respect, unity, and the empowerment of women. The organization concluded their statement by wishing Thailand as a host country, underscoring how pageantry remains a platform for dialogue, cultural exchange, and positive change. For more headlines making waves, let's have Read Them Plenty. As nature continues to surprise us, so too does the world of pageantry. From new discoveries in the wild, we now turn to the story.
As that wave of support takes center stage, we shift onto the headlines that stand out for entirely different reasons. A 28-year-old woman who has been diagnosed with polymastia, a rare condition in which functional breast tissue develops in her armpits, produces lactation of up to 50 ml of milk daily. This case was further detailed by dermatologists at Manila's Jose R. Reyes Memorial Medical Center. According to the written journal, JAAG case report stated that the patient was born with an extra breast tissue under both sides of her armpits, which did not produce any milk until it swelled up after she gave birth and produced milky secretions from the overlying hair follicle. This condition, polymastia, is known to arise from rare embryonic glitches in which mammary ridges fail to regress, forming ectopic glands that respond to everyday stressors like caffeine or anxiety. The patient, a bank teller, initially mistook the leakage for excessive sweating, causing deep embarrassment. It's really incredible how our bodies can work in such surprising ways. As that wave of
ng baha. Ang lalawigan naman ng Batangas ng Pagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapagpapag
Floods don't wait. They don't ask. They take homes, hopes, and lives, and we only notice once the damage has been done. From rushing floods to flowing power, renewable energy keeps the lights alive. Every disaster reveals a weakness, but also a possibility. Floodwater is destructive, yes, but it's also kinetic power. When physics, engineering, and environmental science work together, water becomes want.
Our favorite is the rolls.
Dynasties here in the Philippines. Paano ba yan? As political dynasty yung pamilya ko.
Our project stands at the crossroads of three sustainable development goals. SDG 7 reminds us that clean energy should be universal. By converting flood water into electricity, we turn crisis into renewable, reliable power. Energy that doesn't depend on privilege, but on possibility. Sustainability isn't just science, it's justice, and justice begins with truth. Veritas is our compass. It reminds us that we don't innovate for comfort. We innovate for people who have nothing left but hope. truth demands responsibility. It demands that we stop treating disasters as seasonal headlines and start treating them as warnings. Veritas tells us that every flooded street raises a question. What did we fail to do? And every solution we build is our answer. And we choose to do better.
We cannot keep living in the comfort of denial while others live in the reality of loss. When families wade through chest-deep water, they aren't for miracles. They're asking for truth, action, and the dignity of a future that doesn't drown them.
Veritas lights the path forward with clean power, honest leadership, and transparent innovation. Because when truth leads, science also follows. Every job has a truth, and truth has power. With Veritas, every community can rise stronger.
Turning water into what transforms disaster into opportunity.
Join us, #water into what for resilience and hope.
Even in floods, there is light.
We out here every day with it. I'ma show you how to get it. It go right foot up.
Hello, Roarers! I'm Andre Villones, bringing you the hottest highlights from this week's athletic battles. Over at the UAAP, the UP Fighting Maroons earned the win against the UST Growling Tigers after a breathtaking final quarter. Fighting Maroons guard Harold Alarcon led UP with 22 points by scoring the team's final 8 points in the fourth quarter. On the other side, UST's rookie big man Collins Akowe delivered a strong double-double with 26 points and 16 rebounds. But the Tigers' free throw shooting ultimately cost them the game. The game ended with 89-88 favoring the Fighting Maroons. This narrow victory propelled UP to second place with a 7-3 record, intensifying the Final Four race, while UST slipped to a 5-5 record, highlighting the high-stakes drama that defines collegiate basketball. The game may be over, but the energy keeps going. Here's a quick break that's sure to score with you. Hello, Roarers!
Under one voice, standing for truth.
As a group, we realize that truth is more than just facts because it shapes how we think and act. Instead of simply storing information, we learn to live it out through our actions, thoughts, and interactions with one another. Through this, our understanding of truth grew into something lived and embodied, not just something we know.
Working on this, we knew that freedom of expression comes with responsibility by thinking carefully before we post anything.
we ask ourselves if what we're about to say might hurt someone, cause misunderstanding, or spread something that isn't correct. If it could cause harm, we pause and rethink. For us, being responsible means using our freedom in a way that respects others.
But since responsibility and accountability is not practiced by everyone, we must still ensure that the information we acquire comes with credibility. So how should we respond to these uncontrollable pieces of misinformation?
Our rightful response would be to assess whether engagement is more likely to be productive or to escalate conflict. A person's response should be factual and accurate, focusing on correcting inaccuracies with respect to each other's values, constructively addressing harmful behavior.
Being responsible and accountable to our activities online isn't just the qualities that we should possess, but also to speak truth in love.
Speaking the truth in love on social media means sharing our honest thoughts without attacking or belittling others. It means choosing the words that are respectful and kind, even if we disagree with someone. It also means utilizing our online presence to build others up rather than spreading negativity or causing harm.
In addition, speaking with an honest heart and mind can help challenge falsehoods and protect the dignity of others. Platforms, no matter how small, can be used to share stories and perspectives that encourage respect and empathy. Even a small audience can be influenced, showing that consistent advocacy for truth and human dignity can create meaningful impact.
The media shapes how we see ourselves by influencing what we think we should look like or how we should act. It also affects how we see other people by showing us certain images or ideas about them. Overall, media affects how we think, feel, and even understand the things around us. We must be aware of how these media shape everyone's identity in the frame of our eyes to ensure that we will continue to be our authentic selves.
Since we know now and consider the effects of media to our society, how can we use it for common good?
As consumers and creators of media, we can use the tools of media and journalism to serve the common good by sharing accurate information and avoiding the spread of disinformation. With media, we also have the power to help our communities by highlighting underrepresented voices and explaining important issues in clear and fair manner.
By promoting honesty, accountability, and respect, we make society better informed and more connected. By using the media in good ways, we do meet the goal of promoting justice.
Furthermore, it is important to practice healthy habits such as verifying information, engaging mindfully, and practicing digital etiquette can heavily impact our lives and many others as digital citizens. We digital citizens require these habits in our day-to-day use, whether it be for personal or social needs. It can help reduce the possibility of misinformation spreading and conflict occurring.
And as members of the digital native generation, we are more familiar with how these gadgets and applications operate. Thus, in the digital world, most of the activities shown are the curated version of ourselves. We meticulously select how much we want others to see parts of us. Nevertheless, what we share reflects our real identity, but with a regulation on how much information we give.
Our online presence shows honesty when we post things that are true and real. We show respect by being careful with what we say and not hurting others online. We show compassion when we choose to be kind, supportive, and understanding toward people. By doing these, we make our online space more positive for everyone.
We can reflect our Christian calling online by practicing kindness in our words, sharing content that is truthful, and being genuine in what we post. We acknowledge that even small acts like encouraging others can become digital actions of love and truth.
In totality, as Tomasians, we are taught to live with Veritas. In a world where it is easy to be influenced or to influence others, we should use our voice and actions to share good values. Through honesty, respect, and responsible use of media, we can continue to live out Veritas and contribute to a more truthful and compassionate community, showing the true Tomasian values of compassion, commitment, and competence.
As a group, we realize that truth is more than just facts because it shapes how we think and act. Instead of